talk to you.
Yo, what's poppin'? All my peeps, it is I, your host with the most, Renaissance man who always thinks he can, and champion of the peeps, Patty Pitts, back in the yard of streams for another Smackdown breakdown presented to you by Pitts and Sara's wrestling show, where we take no nights off. We can't have the Smackdown breakdown without the best of the West. You can't forget about Sara Marshall. What's poppin', girl?
Hey, yo.
Hello,
everyone. I am still sick, so
fighting through.
I know I was supposed to stream earlier because I pushed my stream back from yesterday for today for the Patriots, and I'm like, I can't do it. I can't stream for like 2 to 3 hours today. No. Because I didn't have anything prepped yet either. So I was like, no. And I wasn't going to bail on this because, like, you know, we can't move this till tomorrow. So,
yeah, no, it's football season. So,
I know, but that's non-negotiable at this point. But I'm glad that's a mutual agreement between us, which is nice. It's not just
very nice.
You know, it's not just me saying it or you saying it.
Yeah.
So, like, we're irritated that the other one's like, nope. It's like, no. That's just
no, it's
how
like,
it is right
yeah,
now.
it's just that's how it is. That's what happens with wrestling and football.
Yep. So
it's just gonna happen.
Yeah.
So let's get to some. I just wanted to say, hey, Kingdom of Razor.
Hello.
We have Peeps saying hi to Peeps, and returning the favor. David's here. Nathaniel Granshaw. Hi guys, Patriots play tomorrow. Let's win. You damn right.
Let's do it.
All right,
Let's
my Patriot peeps. We're gonna win.
I know I was bummed about Jonathan Jones, but you know.
We'll be there. We'll be fine. We need him for the later weeks, so rest up.
Yeah.
And what's up to Devad? All right. Sarah, what before you throw the first comment, I want to get this out of the way with my initial thoughts on the show in its entirety. It was a very meaty episode. It was, as you said off or beforehand, story driven.
Yeah.
This was an episode that you had to watch it like a TV show or whatnot. There were a lot of moving parts. There were characters. There were wrestlers there that they've been fighting a lot in this, like for example the Street Profits. They got a backstage segment to kind of see how things are. I mean, the Bloodline story I think is more ramped up than ever, but it wasn't a good show to go live to, and I'm happy that you did not spend any money to miss LA Knight and see Cena get his ass beat to end the show. So
yeah, and that's the thing is like, you know, I wanted to go because I haven't been to a show since 2017, haven't seen Cena in 10 years, but yeah, you know, had I gone and like had a cool moment with Cena, then I wouldn't have cared that the show wasn't like the best one to be there for. I would have been like, I don't care, like I got to hug Cena or something, you know what I mean? But I'm trying to be optimistic that maybe he'll be there around Mania or I'll be able to meet him again soon. So I'm just trying to be like, it's fine. Like it's more money that I can spend, you know, at Mania, or if I'm going to try and go to Brady's Hall of Fame enshrinement or whatever. So
yeah,
just trying to be positive, but you know.
Yeah, it's the best way to live, Sarah. That's why we are positive Pits at all times. So,
yeah.
Let's jump right into it, Sarah. Let's talk about it.
So since we were talking about John Cena, he kicked off the show. John Cena. And I mean, there wasn't a whole lot to it. Basically, he just came out, and I mean, the whole point really was that the match between him and the Bloodline was kind of made official, and since he needed a tag team partner, he talked about how AJ Styles was going to be his partner. So basically he was just hyping up AJ Styles. AJ comes out, then he tries to get like on John's good side. He's like, you want some? Come get some. And I was like, oh my god, you guys have such a crush on John Cena. Get in line. So so I mean, we knew this was coming, so like this was just basically the setup for it. And we waited long enough because it's been happening for like last 2 weeks. And then we see the two of them talking to Adam Pearce backstage, and I thought this was funny because Cena's Cena's acting is like so bad, like being a
What?
wrestler again, as a wrestler again.
Oh, okay.
Because he's like, set this up. Like, why can't we just have this match tonight? Like, I don't understand. And Pierce is like, I have to talk to Paul Heyman. Like, you know how it is. It's just like when you're dealing with the bloodline, you have to go through Paul Heyman. He's like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, he's just like, it's just like not believable. And I'm like, Cena,
I loved it. Oh, I loved
it.
it.
It was just funny.
I loved that it was corny like that.
Yeah.
It felt very early 2000s movie. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, we gotta find a way to fix this.
Yeah.
Which played right into my sense of humor. And I have a feeling that what was said with, oh, everything, you know how it is, it goes through Paul Heyman.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to play a bigger role. Like, there were certain words in there that were chosen carefully because that's where we're at in the Bloodline story, where they need to continue it, but you don't need them on. You don't need them on to push other talent, but you have to keep it going so that you eventually have that payoff that everybody's clamoring for. And you do it with backstage stuff like this, like AJ Styles and John Cena. Like what? Why are they a part of this? Well,
yeah,
if they want to face the bloodline, and it's like, whatever. So, long story short, what happened last? In that, it's interesting, the whole Paul Heyman thing. That's all.
Yeah. So, he does try to set up the tag match by talking to Heyman, and Heyman says that he's fine with the match being made, but that the match cannot happen tonight. And Pierce is like, yeah, I know, it's gonna happen at Fastlane. So then that sets up a contract signing, which we'll get to at the end. Oh my gosh. Okay, hold on. Keep my nose. Wait 1 second. I'll be right back.
No, I'm gonna wait. So Paul Heyman will not allow. Yeah, you're not gonna have this match on SmackDown. I'm sorry. No offense to Arizona, great place. Sarah's there, but this is a pay-per-view match. So for story purposes and wrestling business side of things, I would say more than story actually. Yes, then it's a good idea, but it felt like you wanted to have them fight that night, and it's like it's not gonna happen. It makes more sense of Fastlane. I kept the show going.
I think that we kind of forget that Fastlane's in 2 weeks from yesterday. So a lot of this stuff is now going to be building that up. I just think that Fastlane has kind of gone under the radar because there hasn't been like a lot of excitement about it. And so you kind of forget that, like, oh yeah, all of this is going to have to be set up to be at Fastlane. So this didn't shock me, but yeah. So we'll see what happens during the contract signing. We'll get to that. But then we get the first match of the night, which was Rey Mysterio and Santos Escobar versus the Suit Profits. And we had Bobby Lashley ringside, by the way. And you know what I just learned about Bobby Lashley?
What?
He has alopecia. So he has no eyebrows. Those are tattooed eyebrows. And he has no eyelashes. I know. My sister, was looking up stuff about Bobby Lashley, and she found that out. And then I was like, what? How did we not know? Like, how did we not know about this?
I did not figure that out.
But now I'm like,
tattooed.
So like it was like a week later, like on that Smackdown that week or something, and there was like a close up of his face, and I could tell, but I was looking for it. You know what I mean?
No, the glass shatters in your mind.
Yeah, like I never
no
noticed before, and then I noticed he had no eyelashes either, and I was like, oh. And then yeah, so I don't know. So that was just an interesting fact that I didn't know about.
I didn't either. I did not
yes,
know that.
This is true. The alopecia is why he wore the headband, so that they wouldn't sweat off his tattoos eyebrows. Because obviously, when you get tattoos, you can't get them wet for long or whatever.
Yeah.
Crazy, but anyway, I just wanted to share that because I had no idea.
It's
I just
really
thought
fun fact.
yeah, I just thought it was, I had no idea. I just thought he was a bald guy. So thank God for him, that he can pull it off, because there are some guys that don't get to choose to be bald. They just go bald. You know what I mean? Or they're like forced to shave their head.
Yeah.
Um, Mission Complete says the same. They didn't know either. Yeah, I had no idea until my sister told me. I was like, and I've looked at his Wikipedia. I mean, hello, we found out his name was Franklin.
Yeah. How do we know his name was? Well, yeah, that's a deeper fact, but yeah.
But anyway, moving on. So, obviously this was a good match. Bobby does try to interfere to help out his guys, but Dawkins hesitates and ends up getting rolled up by Rey Mysterio, and they are all shocked. They are in disbelief. They cannot believe that they just lost. And I was kind of like, okay, so I think didn't you tweet about that? Like the LWO didn't have to win that match.
There's no reason for them to win that match.
But this is the thing. Okay, so I have this like theory about it. So I was thinking like it's such a weird thing when like they put together people in matches like this where it doesn't make sense for either of them to win, but it doesn't make sense for either of them to lose. You know what I mean? Like it's almost like neither of them needed to lose that match, but it wasn't like neither of them really had to win it either. But it's like if they do win, then it's like a mistake, but if they lose, it's a mistake. You know what I mean? Because
yeah,
if we're thinking about it in this way, the Suit Profits should have won because they're still trying to like establish them as this like new revitalized team that has all this influence by Bobby, right? And so it's like, okay, you can't have them lose. But then the LWO, it's like if I'm, the Ray and Santos are facing each other next week, and I told you that I felt like Santos is going to turn on Ray at some point, and it might happen as early as next week during that match. So having them win makes sense because then it's like, okay, no, they're like buddy, they're family, everything's good. Like they're going to go against each other next week, but they're family, they're bros. Like it's just a friendly match between guys that respect each other, right? So it's like no one's going to think anything is off going into that match next week. So if it does go left, it's like, wait, I didn't see that coming. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's
they
like,
won last week. Everything's fine. Okay.
Yeah. And so I'm like, that's the only way that I could kind of spin it. But I still think that like, yeah, I mean, it just seems like they could have faced somebody else where like the Suit Profits taking the L didn't feel as big of a deal as it did last night. Because then afterwards we see Bobby Lashley basically threatens to remove himself from the situation, saying like, if you're not going to take this seriously, then I want my suits back, I want everything back, and I'll go and get with people who do want to, take this seriously, get better, and dominate. And I don't like the idea of them even teasing a breakup yet. We haven't even gotten like an established.
That's what pissed me off.
Yeah.
That's what pissed me off.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing that's like confusing is because like they haven't even established themselves as this like dominant trio yet. So it's like because we keep seeing like, oh, Lashley wants to see what they can do, then he comes out and celebrates with them, but it's like it's still not solid. And now you're threatening to break them up. I didn't like that either.
Maybe they're trying to throw in some wrinkles there because life isn't all about major ups and downs and whatnot. There's little crinks in the day. So if it's like that, and on the Grayson Waller effect, you see them take it to that next level, then fine. What happened is what happened. I don't like to have too big of a reaction to things. Like to see the big picture, as we know. So with this, I'm trying to, especially when they tease the Grayson Waller effect with Bobby Lashley, leading up to the main event of the contract signing. I was like, oh, okay, there's something going. There's something planned here. So that helped a little bit, but I want to see Ray or Santos just have the match and move on. I don't want to see the LWO break up. I don't want to see this, if they even do break up. I don't want to see it be dragged out, which they would do. Just keep them going. Merch sales are fine. It's a good babyface faction that you need to have as a face for your company, we'll say, especially diversity purposes. So keep that going. It's all about how do you book them now, and especially with how the tag division's going,
Yeah.
they're surefire in there to be a consistent contender for the titles.
Yeah, I just think there needs to be some spicing it up or something because I feel like they're kind of flat right now.
Yeah,
It's
that's a
like
good word.
I'm not as intrigued by them. So it's like something needs to happen, whether it's Santos turning or something. Like, I mean, Carlito, I don't know what they're doing with him, but he's been signed and he's not
Oh
doing
yeah.
anything. I'm like, bringing him in would definitely spice it up and get people interested again. But, like,
What if they
I
do a
don't know.
what if they
Huh?
do a Judgment Day? Carlito kicks Ray out because Ray's too. He's too happy. They need to be more serious and they need to be cool. And Ray doesn't
Maybe.
know how to be cool. He
Yeah.
just knows how to be a deadbeat dad.
Oh my god. But yeah, I'm assuming that there's some sort of twist coming at some point. There has to be because it's
Which
like
would be
it's just
awesome.
no one cares. Like no one cares about the LWO right now. So something's got to give.
Something does have to give.
Then we have Austin Theory just come out of the crowd in his black tank top, looking like a Greek god according to him. And he's expressing his anger towards Michael Cole again. And I'm just like, why are we doing this again? Like, why do we have Austin Theory having beef with a commentator? Like, why? I don't know. So they're basically going from him bragging about beating John Cena at WrestleMania to now him bragging about being in a segment with The Rock that has a ton of views. Like I'm just like,
It's a
this
poacher.
is this
He's
is what you're doing. It's
he's a poacher.
it's just I feel like they just don't really know what to do with him at this point. And so it's just kind of disappointing because I feel like he obviously has like all the tools in his arsenal to be a big guy in the company and they're just like wasting it by doing stuff like this.
Or yeah, they're teasing it a little bit with the whole Waller tag team.
Yeah.
Let's go more in that direction because you do have the viral sensation in Grayson Waller. The yin to that yang would be not a viral guy, but a guy who goes viral, if that makes
Mhm.
sense.
Mhm.
And that's a hell of a dynamic duo for a tag team, especially backstage stuff. Like combine it with their talent in the ring. There's something there. Don't go in the selfish way. Give it a tag team a little bit. Maybe they need to help each other out.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is like I don't hate them being a pairing. I just think that it was only happening to help Austin Theory because Grayson doesn't need it. So it's like
Oh, it
it just
absolutely is to help Austin
yeah,
Theory.
it just feels lazy. It's just like it feels like yeah, they don't have any ideas for what to do with Theory, so they just keep doing these things and I'm just like I don't understand. Like I don't like we don't have to go back to you know the way that they had first presented him being the next guy for Vince McMahon. Like you don't have to go back to that, but do something like
Yeah, there's
something
something
different
there.
that we haven't seen yet.
Absolutely.
um
Absolutely.
I have to blow my nose. So did you want to go to some comments while
I'm
I'm
gonna go
gone?
to some comments while you do that. I think that's a great way to transition here. Sarah powering through, let her do her thing while we do ours here. There we go. There's the question. When it comes to the NBA, who are your favorite teams and players? I can speak for Sarah to keep things going. That it's Celtics and Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. My favorite NBA player is Damian Lillard, Dame time baby, and all time is Magic Johnson. As a diehard Celtics fan, my favorite basketball player is a Laker. Talk about nonsense. There we go. Oh, Cha Cha baby, what's up? What's popping? How we doing? I haven't had time to watch any WWE this week, but here for the vibes and stay updated. That's what we do. Okay, that's what we do for the peeps is keep them updated with as unbiased as possible, but we're gonna throw our bias in there. Obviously, we're people, we're human. I wish they had Umberto and Angel in the LWO. They're more threatening and are descendants of an OG member. So that's an interesting twist that I would not put it past them to go down, especially with how they're building up Umberto and Angelo. Angel.
Angel. Yes,
Is that
Angel.
very just Caucasian to me to just
Yes. I mean,
okay?
it's yeah.
Angel. Is that like saying taco?
Takeout. I mean, it's Angel, so I'm
On
still
hell.
no. It's
I do
Angel.
both. I
Ay,
speak
ay, ay.
Spanish at work for my main language. Dead serious. So what's this question? Then he started booking Austin in more serious bet him up heel roles. The crybaby gimmick does not work. Do not work.
No, I know.
It do not work.
I just I still kind of want to see him turn babyface, but I just think that he's like more than capable that to be that, but they probably more so need a young heel on SmackDown, especially since now they have LA Knight is like the main good guy on SmackDown, so they don't need like another one, but I just think that he would be so much better in that role. He just doesn't scream bad guy to me. Like even when he's talking about like how hot he is and stuff, like I said, like it just doesn't come off believable because I don't think that's how he is, and then he's just not at a point where he makes it convincing. So I don't know. I really want to see it, but we'll see.
Cha-Cha Baby, easy answer. Love it. Spurs are a successful franchise. Patriots are a little bit more, but there are similarities there. Calvin Houston, did you think Theory should have attacked Michael Cole? Not yet.
Well, and I don't know if we're gonna see that anymore. Cole might not want to get like physical anymore. He's not like a spring chicken, but
he could take a bump though.
Maybe, but I just mean like I don't know if he really wants to anymore, but we'll see.
I agree. I agree with that. In terms of could he do it, I think he could take a bump, like a push over the chair or something small. Not a A-Town down through the announcer's table.
Yeah.
I don't think that's ready.
Yeah, no.
All right. So
all right.
Next?
Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. We see a video package of them, which we were like, thank God, because these girls have been gone for way too long and there's no reason for it. But they were talking about how the tag team titles are cursed, and I just wanted to be like, you guys are fans of the show because we talked about this months ago. Or a month ago.
we literally, not even we. I'm not even, the champ gives credit where credit's due. Sarah, that's you. You were the one who came up with that.
I couldn't remember because
I didn't come up with that. I may have thought of it and went like, that's fine. No, you were the one who said it on the show. I know that. So
yeah, and I just think it was like, it's that joke that we're all saying, even though we're like most of us are pretty serious by saying the women's tag titles are cursed, but it plays so much into their character, and given the fact that they were the NXT women's tag champions at the time of when they dropped it, and then the unification came and it was Ronda and Shayna, and then everything went downhill from there. Like it literally is the perfect thing for them to do, to reintroduce them back to TV, to be like, yeah, we lost, so we put a curse on them, and no one's going to question it because that's their character.
And it legitimately is cursed. The weird shit that's happened. It's like, you know what? Maybe they do have some fucking supernatural powers.
I know.
If these many people are being injured. And then you could do something with Chelsea Green being like immune or something. And then like Chelsea, I don't know. You could do something with them. Have the peeps iron it out. But it's there.
Yeah, so I just think it's going to be exciting. I just really hope that they like move forward with this, and that we're not just getting this random video and then we don't see them again for like a month or something, because they tend to do that as well.
Yeah, with Veer. Veer's coming.
I know. Well,
Veer's still coming.
Yeah. Ew. But anyway, yeah. So I would love to see that happen, because I think that the women's tag, like, it's gotten to a better spot than it had been, but they definitely have to be bringing back these girls, and we've mentioned like the After Party. It's like these solid tag teams and it's better than the random tag teams that they're putting together. You know, like Chelsea and Piper is fine given the circumstances, it's fine. But them, putting Shayna and Zoe together makes
Bizarre. That's bedfellows.
it's like it makes sense, but it's like no one wants to see that necessarily. Like, it's only like a step above Ronda and Shayna as tag team champions. So like
Yeah.
it would just be good to see more like legitimate tag teams back involved because I think that's gonna legitimize it even more. So I'm just
I
hoping we
agree.
get these ladies back on TV.
I do.
And then speaking of ladies, Io Sky versus Asuka for the women's championship was 2 commercial break match, man.
Well
And
deserved.
I can't believe that they have never had a match before ever against
That's
each other.
wild to me. That still's wild to me.
I know, and that's the thing that I think is cool. That we've gotten to a point where Michael Cole is allowed to talk about their time before WWE, because before they would have just been like, they've never faced each other in WWE, like they
Yeah.
wouldn't talk about the fact that they were like in Japan and had these storied careers outside of WWE. Like that's not something they would do. So that was cool to hear that. But then when he was like, yeah, they've never faced each other, I was like, seriously? So I gave them a little bit of like of a slide just because the match wasn't perfect. There were some parts that were like, ew, ew.
Yeah.
But this was such a physical match and like so different because of their style of wrestling that it was like
Yeah.
you wanted to watch the entire thing. Like it was almost disappointing that there were 2 commercials because you were like, no, get back. Like
Yeah.
this, why isn't this on Raw so we can have picture in picture?
I need picture is the best thing that's happened to wrestling, hands down.
Yeah.
I love this match for exactly what you said, the New Japan style, hard hitting. You don't see that in the women's division, and I
Yeah.
don't say that in a negative way. I say it in a different way. WWE style is very different from New Japan. It's not theatric is not the right word, but it's fluid. Moves just flow very nicely. When there's a bump, or I mean not a bump, a botch or anything, it's more evident, and it's like, oh, they screwed that up and it. Where is other promotions, or with New Japan, I mean, um everything is it's physical. It feels like you're in a legit fight. The only
Yeah.
difference is when the person's supposed to lose, they say, all right, it's time. Everything else about it is so hard hitting. The slaps, chops, kicks, that strong style, I love it. And I'm very happy that they get to do that now in WWE, because you need that. You need that little bit of difference to bring that type of fan into your product.
And I'm excited that we're probably going to be able to see it again. Like it might have been the first time they faced each other, but I doubt it's the last time. My only complaint with it, of course, is that I just wish that uh Io didn't get any help. Like again, I understand I'm not like ignorant to the fact that heels get help in matches, but when she was coming out, it was something that Michael Cole pointed out that was like, oh, people have had some issues with Io's reign because the members of Damage Control have gotten involved and blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay, so the fact that you're pointing that out and then it ends up happening, like it's just would have been nice if it just didn't happen in that match, because it's like for some reason you're making it seem like her reign isn't like legitimate enough because she's gotten help,
Mm-hmm.
which is ironic considering who the undisputed champion is and how he's won the last, like, I couldn't even tell you how many matches. But yeah, that was my main complaint, other than Charlotte Flair.
Sarah, I'm not even kidding. That music hit, and I actually yelled out, "What the fuck!" Like there was no
Yeah.
reason, absolute no reason for that
No.
whatsoever.
Well,
It was
and
nuts.
it's like I said, it was a couple weeks ago, and I made it into a clip too, where it was like technically Charlotte isn't in the women's title picture, but they never have her like out of it. Like they would be like, it's like Io and Asuka are on the promotional poster, and Charlotte is just like in the far back. Like you can't really see her, but she's still there.
She's eyeing the prize. She's
Yeah,
eyeing
and
the
it's
prize.
like, but why? I mean, she was just teaming up with Shotzi for no reason, and now all of a sudden she's coming out to watch, and it was like trying to help Asuka. Like, what are we doing? I don't understand. And what I think is ironic about a lot of it too is that I've said it before, she doesn't understand why people, like the fans, don't gravitate to her the way that they do naturally with Becky Lynch or other people. It's because of stuff like this. Because you're always around, like, and it's like, I understand that when it comes to creating storylines and stuff, it's not like she's saying, this match is going to happen and I want to come out and just sit ringside during it. Like, she's not saying it, but it's like she also has enough pull backstage that she could be like, oh, maybe I don't need to be involved in this, like there's just no purpose for you in this. But
There's no purpose at all.
Yeah, I don't know what the plan is. Like, I don't know if they're trying to have her get set up against Io. I don't know, but I don't know many people that want to actually see that. It's like, I don't want to see her in the title picture. Just like, have her go do something else. It just proves that they have nothing for her unless she's going for the title. Like, how do you not have anything for her unless she's a champion? I don't get it. What?
Sara, I just thought of it. I just thought of Charlotte Flair's next feud.
Oh.
It's Jade Cargill.
Maybe.
Because you're not going to put Jade in NXT right now. There's no reason. Not only for the development purposes, it's more for the fact that she just dominates the division, and that's not part of the story. If you want to put her on the main roster and you want her to go up with someone who can teach her the WWE ropes along with elevate her to legitimacy, it's putting her up against Charlotte Flair.
Well, and it would work if they brought her in as a heel, because Charlotte's not. But that's the thing, is, again, it doesn't matter depending on who it is.
Charlotte's a heel.
She's not technically. But
internally, she's a face. How?
No, I know. So what I'm saying is, it wouldn't work because people are going to be excited about Jade. So even if they try to bring her in as a heel, if they brought her in as a heel to go against Charlotte, it's not going to work. Charlotte will be the heel, even though they don't want her to be. No one's going to be like cheering for Charlotte over Jade. You know what I mean? Like, people are going to be so excited that she's there, and especially with Charlotte like Bianca Flair is out, and Becky's doing NXT. So there's like some big, women powerhouses in the division that are not around right now. They're not going to cheer for Charlotte over Jade.
No.
So that's the thing, is like, again, Charlotte, get a clue. There's a reason why that happens to you every single time. But
yeah,
whatever. Anyway, I just wanted everyone to know that I am hashtag Elton Strong, okay? Because
yes, boy! Yes, boy! Yes, boy! Yes, boy!
Yes, boy!
I just, this is just another example of how I don't understand how people can really say that they don't think that Pretty Deadly is just fantastic. I just don't.
They're so comedically gifted. It's unbelievable. They're so good. To intro it, you have Kit giving this very emotional, inspirational talk intro, and then he drops his drink, and then just so casual. Oh, Kit, yeah. Can you get my drink? I just drank. Oh yeah, buddy. Let me. On the floor, and then the whole montage of him training, having the nurse be like, "It's a shoulder. He can walk fine, but he's got his like foot off
the shake weight."
The shake weight was unbelievable. I haven't seen one of those since like 2010.
Yeah, and what I thought was, the whole thing was funny, and I'm glad that they did that because they had those types of things when they were in NXT. So I'm glad that they brought that back up here when they're on the main roster. What I thought was really funny too was that before the commercial break, they had the Brawling Brutes come out, and then they played the video. So Ridge is having to stand in the ring and watch that and watch them replay him injuring Elton over and over again.
That's
And I was like,
karma.
I know. So I thought that was funny because I was like, was this
And it's-
purposeful? Because he's standing in the ring and he has to stare at the screen and
It
watch.
might be a rib. That might be somewhat of a rib.
Maybe, but yeah, so I thought this was hilarious, and I, last week was good, that was good, so I'm excited to see when they come back, because it's about time. I feel like it's been long enough.
Yeah,
it's been long enough. So we already spoke about the A-Town Down Under. They went against the Brawling Brutes, and shockingly, this was the main event. Which I'm like, what?
Grayson Waller can't stop main eventing.
I know. I was like,
main event Waller.
It's just crazy. And it was a good match. Grayson and Austin win. But this is where I wanted to get into it a little bit more about but we kind of already talked about it, just liking this pairing or not. And I'm just like, I'm not against this pairing. I just don't feel like it's necessary. We don't need another random tag team right now.
But they go well together. That's why
I know,
like it.
but I don't know. I think I just wanted to keep seeing more of what they were going to do with Waller, since we just kept seeing him against the legends and whatever. So it's like, this feels like just more of a hindrance. But like I said, I think obviously this is more to help Theory, because Grayson doesn't need to be in a tag team right now. He doesn't.
Electric.
Yeah. So they were very excited about this win, and I'm so glad that Corey Graves mentioned the A-Town Down Under, because they did not call them that.
No,
so I was glad that he did. I was like, see, he knows. I also, speaking of Corey Graves, when they came back from showing Pretty Deadly, and then he was like, I've never felt more inspired. Just being so stupid. And Cole is like, I've never seen anything more ridiculous. I'm like, you're such a hater. You wrestled in a barbecue sauce match. What do you mean you've never seen anything more ridiculous?
I remember watching that live. Oh my God.
I know. I'm like, how can you say anything that you've never seen something more ridiculous? You participated in one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen on WWE TV.
Yeah, really.
He's just a hater.
Roll around your underwear with barbecue sauce. Jesus, wrestling's awesome.
Yeah.
Wrestling is fucking awesome.
And then we did see that LA Knight was going to have a segment and was gonna be partnered with Cena or something. But his segment was cut, which, I mean, some people were making a big deal about it initially, but they were shooting it down and be like, no, it's not a big deal. It's just a timing thing. And then today it was revealed that he allegedly tested positive for COVID before the show started yesterday. So they basically had to cut his segment because he couldn't perform while positive. So if anybody was concerned about that, then I guess we don't really have to be. We just have to hope that he gets better soon.
Yeah.
So that he won't be off our TV for too long.
Only thing I have to say about this is the overreaction.
Yeah.
I obviously have that worry. You have that worry at first that, oh, did something happen, whatnot, because that's where your mind goes. But here's the thing with LA Knight is I get you need to have him on television and you need to have him on your shows for the crowd and the fans and keep him on whatever. But if you're just putting him in these stupid squash matches that mean nothing except for him to get a cheap pop and for the crowd to chant his name with everybody saying, that's for house shows. That is keep him on house shows. That's the organic way and old school way of getting over. For TV, he needs to be doing something with substance. And right now on SmackDown, there's nothing of substance for him to do. Hit Row got released, essentially. So there goes his opponents, or, reoccurring opponents. You need him to be going up against the guys like The Miz, against guys like even Drew McIntyre. I'm just saying for Bobby Lashley, for star-wise purposes, those types of guys. But there's no logistical way of doing it. So just keep having him do these backstage stuff, keep him in front of the peeps, and it'll be fine. For him to get COVID, that was just the sign for everyone to chill out. that LA Knight is going fucking nowhere.
Yeah, I think had that not happened, I doubt they would have cut his segment because even if it was just a quick little thing, just to get him on camera, even if it was he was going to be in the dark match or something, you know what I mean? Like I think they would have done that because they also had, like we said, it was very story driven. So there were ways that they could have made, cut out a backstage segment or something that wouldn't have really impacted a whole lot to fit his segment in. So it's not like, they were like, nope, we don't have room and he's the one that we're going to cut, like I don't think that's what it was.
Yeah,
it was
no.
But anyway, then we move on to like the main event, I guess, which was the contract signing planned for AJ Styles and John Cena and the Bloodline, but we basically saw AJ Styles get taken off this planet by the Bloodline.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I don't know what kind of splash Solo hit with him, but oh my god, it felt very remnants of the Mankind I Quit when the sparks fly and all that. I was like,
yeah,
they're really making a big deal out of this.
Yeah, so Cena comes out and he's just like waiting, and then AJ Styles' music hits, and then Cena's all like, come on out, AJ. And I'm just like, oh my god, Cena, I love you, but oh my god. And then they pan backstage to show Jimmy is just basically ripping AJ apart, and no one comes to help him, which is like, okay, OC, like, way to win back points from your leader here.
Yeah.
And then he gets thrown over a bunch of boxes, and then all of a sudden here's Solo sitting on the top of the Empire State Building, and I'm just like, okay. And then he does like a splash on AJ, and AJ goes splat.
Yeah, AJ goes bye-bye.
He did. And then when we die, we go bye-bye. Have you seen that on Impractical Jokers?
When we die, we go, yeah.
Yeah, and then by Abe Lincoln's. That was the quote. And it was on last night, or I was watching it last night, and they were like, yeah, he's a famous children's book author, and you wouldn't really know because every time you search Abe Lincoln's, it just comes up as the president. So stupid. But anyway, when we die, we go bye-bye. Anyway, and then AJ is like just playing dead, like he's an extra on Law and Order.
He really sold that so well.
Yeah.
Well.
And so then John runs to the back to try and help him, and helps him get into the ambulance, which then the OC shows up.
Yeah, good.
I know. Way to be. We're going to be like, hey, we helped you get on the stretcher in the ambulance. But anyway, so then we see, Solo, Jimmy, and Paul come out to the ring, and Paul immediately just starts insulting the crowd. He only gets to say ladies before people start booing, and he's like, Arizona boos women.
Oh, it was unbelievable. I was like, Paul, you dog.
And then he said, you all can boo my kosher tuchus if you want. And I was like, you, sir. Then he just talks about how Cena signed the contract, but he signed it without a tag team partner for Fastlane, but the match is still going to happen. Jimmy then grabs the mic out of Paul's hand, and Paul is not pleased about it.
Not at all.
I know. We'll talk about that in a second. And he just goes on to mock Cena and just warn everyone from messing with the bloodline, just saying AJ got what he deserved, and the same thing is going to happen to Cena. Cena comes out to try and be Super Cena, but it did not work, and he gets beaten down, and they stand over him as the show ends. So first, since obviously AJ is presumably in a coma,
dead. Yes, no, he is. Yeah. DIY.
I would assume he is not going to be there for Fastlane. So I find it hard to believe that they're going to have Cena go against the bloodline by himself. So who do you think is going to be his partner? I'm assuming his partner isn't going to show up maybe until Fastlane.
Yeah,
they're gonna
it's
try
gonna
and
be.
sell it as it's gonna be the two of them versus him, and then he's gonna be like, I don't know, and then it's just gonna, I hear voices in my head, and I'm gonna be like,
Oh.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. You just
My
got
guess,
so excited.
my guess is Randy, just because he's been training at the PC the last couple weeks, and so that's just my guess. I mean, Riddle is gone, which we'll talk about.
Oh, you did it.
Yeah, we're gonna do it. So it's not like Randy is gonna need to be on Raw. Randy would be the perfect addition to SmackDown right now,
Perfect addition to
especially with
SmackDown.
Roman gone.
Yeah.
So, and he wasn't drafted, so it's like he could just show up at Fastlane, but it doesn't mean that that's like he's on SmackDown. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
exactly.
so that's my guess. Maybe it's wishful thinking, but I did like your guesses too, because you said maybe Cody because
I
of
said
Cody
'cause
trading.
of trading a SmackDown, and that's like a nice little twist into the story.
Yeah.
I think LA Knight could be a pick just because it's something for him to do.
Well,
Puts
and if
him
he
with
was supposed to
Cena.
be Cena's partner or whatever before they had to change
Yeah.
it. But that
And
also depends on if he can,
he
recover
will.
or whatever
Yeah,
from
he'll be.
yeah.
LA Knight was that one because you could also do a little story with him and Cena afterwards if they lose. There's no reason for John and LA Knight to win. So if the Bloodline lose, or Bloodline, what I mean, you have LA Knight and Cena have a little bit of a feud. Like, I don't need your rub. You already kind of alluded to it in a promo week prior.
You already rubbed me.
You already rubbed me.
Yeah. You rubbed me enough.
You rub me enough.
Stop rubbing me.
Stop rubbing me.
Get your rubby hands off me.
I'm getting ticklish.
You rubber. Stop it, you monster. You rubber chicken monster. Anyway, go ahead.
Oh, that was nonsense. It's Cody, the trade thing would really be interesting, but I'm just intrigued and I'm waiting for a big curveball. Cody isn't really that big of a curveball, more of a change up. Randy Orton would fucking blow the roof off the place.
He would. Oh my god. And the thing is like he has one of the best songs for a return. Like there's certain songs that just don't hit. Like Pat McAfee. His entrance song does not hit when it's a return.
Because it doesn't start with a beat.
I know,
it's his
but that's
words.
that's what I mean. It's like there's certain ones that it's like it just works. So then when you hear like I hear voices, and you're like, yeah, dude,
I'll lose it. I'll fucking
so that would be cool. Because I mean, like I said, he doesn't have to be on SmackDown. He could be doing a favor for his old buddy, old pal Cena. When Randy left, he was a good guy. So it's not, and it doesn't matter. Randy could come back as a good guy and literally at the end of the match could fuck up Cena. You know what I mean? So it's like he's the type that it doesn't matter. But I would love that. And I feel like if Randy comes back, you should do it at the pay-per-view.
You need to. Yeah. Don't give it on. Don't put it on free television.
Yeah. But then I also had to ask, what do you think of this version of Jimmy Uso? Because I have a theory on it, and and I also have like mixed feelings about the direction they're taking him in. But I wanted to hear what you had to say first, because I know everybody for the most part is like Jay is better than Jimmy, but it's like we also have to remember that Jimmy hasn't really had a proper opportunity to establish himself as a solo guy. So it's like Jay is way ahead of him in that regard. So I feel like comparing them is not fair. But
it's not fair at all. And it's because Jimmy is in the stage that Jay was when he did his right now. And I'm
when Jimmy was injured.
I'm loving it.
Yeah.
It's so well done because technically he was not kicked out of the bloodline.
No. It's like he's not out, but he's not in.
Two, he's going on like everything's all whatever. Jay's gone. It's my time to shine. They already kind of alluded to it, if people have a good memory, about Jimmy not wanting Jay to be the tribal chief.
Yep.
We didn't get an answer why he didn't want him to be the tribal chief.
Well, other than not
What-
wanting him to become Roman. But
But here's the thing. You can also flip that coin on
I
another
know
side.
that Jimmy wanted to be
And
the
he could say, I didn't mean that. I meant
Yeah.
I wanted it. I'm the superior twin.
yeah.
All that shit. And the interesting part about this entire thing, and which is why I really love it,
Mhm.
Solo's going along with it. Solo is
I
going along with it, and he's like, yeah, let's kick ass, all this stuff. And it's producing probably some of my favorite Paul Heyman moments where he is just like a little sidekick. Like, who gave that order?
yeah.
Like, you have to follow the order. And he's just like, call Roman Reigns.
I see
So
like
good.
for me, I'm kind of like I still think based on I mean originally I've thought this, you know, I already said that I kind of feel like what's happening with Jimmy and Jay is calculated. You know, that it's between the two of them that this is all planned. Like they planned for Jay to want out and to quit, and Jimmy was going to make sure he would stay around and continue doing the blood work bidding, and you know, to kind of like because Jimmy kind of has one foot in and one foot out of the bloodline, and obviously Jay is completely out, and I feel like it kind of solidified my idea of that once Jimmy snatched the microphone out of Paul Heyman's hand. That was when I was like, okay, see, there's some tomfoolery here, you know, because like
Yeah.
he wouldn't do that ever. And to me, it feels like he's being so over the top of like, it seems like he's trying to see how far he can go and how far he can push Paul Heyman and maybe even Solo while Roman's gone, and just like test how far he can take it. And that's just what it felt like to me, which to me plays into my idea of, you know, this whole thing is calculated, that they're kind of like trying to take down the bloodline from the inside out, but Jimmy is the one that's mostly doing it. And so you know, and Solo, I mean, maybe he could be involved or what, I don't know, especially because like you said, he's not really showing he has any issue yet with what Jimmy's doing. Like he didn't step up to Jimmy when he noticed that he snatched the microphone out of Paul's hand. He didn't say anything to Paul after Jimmy was like, oh, okay, you know, just call Roman and see, let me know what he says, you know, when he leaves, and Solo's just like, I'm gonna take care of this, like, don't worry, like, we're not gonna have a tag team. Like, he didn't say anything about like, I'll take care of him, Jimmy's an idiot, you know.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. He didn't. He went exactly. Yes.
yeah, so I feel like there's just ulterior motives here, and that's why I felt like obviously it was just a theory of mine because I'm just trying to figure out the direction that they're going in. And so that was, yeah, when he snatched the microphone, that was when I was like, all right, that really plays into what I'm thinking is going on, because he would have never done that before all of this happened. No one, I mean, why was it such a big deal when Jay was like, I don't give a damn what the tribal chief says? It was
It
like,
was like,
oh shit.
whoa! It was like,
Yeah.
oh my god, the world stood
Yeah.
still for a second.
And so they never would have done something like that. So I really feel like he's kind of just trying to test to see like, okay, how far can I take this before they end up wanting to punish me or kick me out or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
Or get Solo on his side.
I'm very interested in the fact of Paul's reaction after the beating they put on Cena. It seemed like he was doing one of those. Paul Heyman was doing one of those things where it was like after Brock would attack someone, he's like, "Don't, Brock, stop it!" And he's telling them to stop. But why wouldn't Roman want, like, Roman wants pure domination, and that's what they're doing. So for Paul to be doing this, it's very interesting because why doesn't that kind of show that? Oh no, I just had a brain blast. Remember when Roman said Paul Heyman is my wise man?
Yeah, he's not theirs.
He's not there, so he's trying to keep Roman as a tribal chief, where Roman just wants to see the bloodline grow, and it's because Paul is not part of the bloodline. He is a wise man. And then Sami Zayn's the next wise man.
And then I don't know. But I think also it's like they was it, I think it was last week when Paul was talking about how he was frustrated with Jimmy kind of like going off and doing his own thing and like creating his own enemies. And I'm sure that was part of it with Cena. It's like Cena is not a target. Like he's not on our radar right now, but you're putting him on our radar. And now we
Yeah.
have to deal with him because of your shenanigans. So that's why I feel like I wouldn't be surprised if Paul was kind of like not into what they were doing to him after the contract signing or whatever, because it was like it was unnecessary. It's not something that they had to deal with, but because of Jimmy running his mouth since Cena came back, like interrupting him and whatever, it's like, okay, Cena's now here, but had they just ignored him, they wouldn't have had to have done any of this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm curious. Like, it's funny because it kind of goes in waves for me, the way of the bloodline. Like some weeks I'm just like, oh my gosh, like this is so boring. But then there's other things where I'm like, oh, okay, it's like a little bit better now. But
it's progressing.
I'm just hoping that we keep seeing stuff like this, because otherwise it does get to a point where, I'm seeing, like I said, there are a lot of people who have already commented on social media about how like it's just stale right now. Like they're not into it. So they're going to have to do something big,
Yes.
But I did want to end the show with the best news of the week, which came just about an hour or so before Smackdown yesterday. And that was my all-time favorite wrestler and human being was released by WWE. And I just have to say, good job, WWE. You finally did the right thing, Like that
long overdue. It was long overdue.
And when we talked about it before we went live, I was saying that I think it's the only time that I've ever seen wrestling fans on social media come together and collectively 95% of them were actually happy that this release happened. So I think that tells you a lot about how the fans felt about him. And I think, the rumor was that someone higher up in WWE said that Riddle had just burned too many bridges and that they were basically just over his antics at this point. And I think that spoke a lot to how the fans felt as well. I think it was just, like there was just, I think even if you were a fan of his, because obviously he had fans, but like, I think it gets to a point where you can't defend somebody anymore because you can't make up excuses for somebody every single time something happens. And I think a lot of them were getting to that point where it's like, okay, I can't defend him anymore. So like, if he gets released, he gets released. Like, I don't know.
That's all my thoughts exactly. That's what I really have nothing else to say other than it was long overdue. There was no reason for him to be on programming anymore. There was no direction for him. And when your reliance on a tag team partner is so crucial, it brings down the other person you're with. Like for instance, Drew McIntyre and Matt Riddle. Yeah, that's ridiculous. It worked for Randy Orton because Randy Orton can do that in his career. He's done everything.
Yeah, because we said
Matt
that,
Riddle
like,
and try to get him over.
Yeah, because I think we had talked about it last week where we said like, or I said that Randy is already so established and has accomplished so much in his career that he is at a point where he's going to want to have more fun and like not so serious storylines. And so that was why he was loving being an RK Bro, because he basically got to do whatever he wanted and actually got to be like more Randy, like real life Randy. And in the McIntyre situation, Drew isn't done chasing the ring. Like he wants to be champion. So it didn't make sense to then put him into a forced tag team simply because it was entertaining and because you needed to do something with Matt Riddle because he's incapable of doing things on his own. So I'm happy for Drew in that regard as well, because obviously this got him out of those handcuffs,
It did. 1,000% agree.
But anyway, that was Smackdown.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, that was Smackdown.
And yeah, that's really it. That's all we got. I'm not gonna lie. I'm so exhausted. I've been streaming for
Yeah.
Since what time I got 4:00, like 4:30, we hopped on the Nonsense Sports Network. We streamed a Madden game and then an NWF, Sarah. I
Mhm.
finally streamed your show.
I know, I have no idea what happened.
Yeah, go back and watch it with the peeps.
I will. What I did notice though was like how normal my show is compared to yours. But I feel like it's almost like a balance because I feel like that's more me. Like I wouldn't have the same matches as you because like
No.
you're the like more nonsense person and I'm more like no, like I just want to see like my nonsense is like oh my god, Razor Ramon versus Damian Priest. You know what I mean? It's like oh my god, I'm so quirky. Like I'm so weird,
Yeah.
you know? But I think it is kind of interesting. And I was dying at some of the stuff that was going on your show. Like I
Oh,
oh my god, when I said what the fuck is a cletus, I could not stop laughing to myself. I couldn't stop laughing.
Farmer Cletus won
Did he
Lundenberg.
win? Who won?
No, fucking Wolf Mason stole the win. He
Oh
snuck in.
jeez.
Someone hit a move, finisher move. Then they got thrown out or something because they pulled in. And then Wolf Mason snuck in the ring and pinned him for the win.
Oh
The
gosh.
cage door was open. No one got on top of the cage. I was very pissed off about that. I don't know. You can't just open a door and then not go to the top.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You can't.
I was laughing too. That's why I texted you and you were like, can someone get a pin? Like, can
Oh my
someone
God.
end this match?
So
It's like 40 minutes. And I'm like, it's a 5-star. I'm like, yeah, 5-star and how long it was.
It was the longest, and I think it was the TMT match, which ended up low-key being very good. For AI, it was like a very good back and forth. I just wish the finish was a little bit better, but whatever. But no, oh my god, I can't wait for SmackDown. I also found out we have a pay-per-view coming next week. So have to plan that together because I'm not doing your show for a pay-per-view. I'll do it for a stupid TV.
I was gonna do it with you, but then I didn't know that you were gonna do it right after yours, and I was like, I have to eat because I haven't eaten.
Double feature.
Huh?
It said double feature in the tweet.
Oh, I didn't even pay attention. I just clicked the link. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, I'll help with that, obviously.
Tune in next episode to it, and the way you find out what time is it's actually I don't even know at this point. I gotta make an actual schedule for it. Life is really crazy right now. So especially with football season coming up, we got Pats tomorrow. The champ of the Patriot peeps got to hop back into another yard of streams, talk about those. You got to hop into your yard of streams and talk about your Patriots when you hop into the bed of yours.
Yeah.
Get some sleep, shut eye, all rested up, and then watch
2 hours of sleep last night. So
yeah, that is definitely a contributing factor.
I'm gonna knock myself out with some Benadryl tonight, probably.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
we love that.
But then the game starts at 10 a.m. I think, right? It's an afternoon game, like a 1 o'clock game.
Yeah, it's a 1 o'clock.
So then I have to wake my ass up because like I sleep so horribly that usually I wake up at 7:30 and then I go back to bed and sleep for like another 2 hours or at least try. I can't do that tomorrow. I have
do
to
it on the couch. Pop on the couch.
Well, I can do it. Well, no, I have to watch it on a stream because I can't watch the game. I don't have any way to watch it. So
we'll figure it out.
Okay.
You always find a way. Thank you guys for tuning into this edition of the SmackDown Breakdown. Subscribe, hit that button, bell notification. I'm exhausted. Links for all the other social platforms are down below. And then the twitch.tv Nonsense Sports Network. We got a lot of sports coming there, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And I want you to be a part of the journey for when we go to the friggin' moon. Thank you guys for tuning in. God bless. Remember that you can do it. All I got to do is try. We will see you on Tuesday for the Raw Rewind. Yeah.